Welcome everybody to the Seville Sports Mentality Show with the Sports Rev. We are back after a slight hiatus over the summer as we're back to start this new 2025-26 school year. So we're grateful to be back to talk a lot of Coatesville area high school sports and to have some wonderful interviews. If you don't mind, as we start this show, please like and share. Please like and share this broadcast. Let somebody know you're watching the Seville Sports Mentality Show on the Seville Sports Network, also starting with 610, the Seville Sports Network. All right, like and share. And we made it easy for you to like our Facebook page as well as our Instagram page. And if you don't mind, go ahead on, scan that QR code. Go ahead on and be a part of our Facebook page as well as follow us on Instagram. And you can feel free to scan those QR codes and they will take you directly to our Facebook page and our Instagram page. And while some of you are scanning for Facebook and Instagram, again, please like this broadcast and share this broadcast on your social media outlets. And as I say to my church oftentimes, I won't ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do. So I'm going on and sharing this broadcast as we speak to let folk know what is going on the 610 Seville Sports Network page. Thank y'all so much for liking and sharing. We greatly appreciate that. And also those who scanned the Facebook's QR code as well as Instagram, we greatly appreciate that. Well, many of you all know that when we started the Seville Sports Mentality Show, I had a co-host in the person of Mr. Grubb. And I want to begin this show by first saying thanks to Mr. Grubb and to show you how sincere I am in sharing my thanks. I want to share a written statement that I made so that people will know that I had a lot of thought, or rather I put a lot of thought in expressing my gratitude to Mr. Grubb. Here's my statement. As the last school year ended, Mr. Grubb, who co-hosted the Seville Sports Mentality Show when it launched in January, decided to leave 610 to become more involved beyond sports in the Coatesville community. Mr. Grubb was pivotal to the network and show start, promoting it, connecting with key resources, and securing high-profile interviews last school year. We thank him for his contributions to the network. We wish him the best in his future endeavors, especially with his new food ventures legacies with Quincy Till along with his wife. On a personal note, I can attest that Mr. Grubb and his wife excel in culinary skills. For my church, they catered a meal for the renowned Morehouse College Glee Club, who performed in Coatesville this March, and also lent their expertise to my pastor's anniversary celebration also in March. That being said, the network will seek to utilize his culinary services when the opportunity arises. And we once again as a network want to thank him for all his contributions. If you don't mind, can you all send up some hearts, send up some likes for Mr. Grubb, aka Levi Worthington, as we thank him for his contributions and wish him the best in his future endeavors. Thank you, bro. We truly appreciate all that you did for the network. All right. Thank y'all so much for showing Mr. Grubb some love, and we truly appreciate you all doing so. As we move forward with the show, we normally start the show with the cash check-in, the Coatesville area high school check-in. So now at this time, if you are especially a Coatesville area school graduate, go ahead, type your name in the chat. let us know what year you graduated from Cash. Also, if you're not a graduate from Cash, go ahead on. Put your name in the chat so that we can show you some love. And thank you for tuning in to the Seville Sports Mentality Show. All right. Thank you, Sister Tara Man, for tuning in. Good evening to you, Miss Sylvia Harris. Good evening to you, Miss Verdell Beckman. Delois D. Hunt, representing the class of 2003. Thank you so much for checking in, showing some love to the class of 2003. Feel free. Anyone else, let us know what year you graduated from Cash. Also, if you're tuning in and you're not a graduate from Cash, go ahead on. Put your name in the chat. We got Delois representing Cash. Hopefully there'll be some others who will represent Cash. Michelle Harris, I think I know that young lady. She's not a graduate of Cash, but she's representing the, I don't know what class she's representing, but glad to have you, Michelle. I believe that's my daughter. Yes, she is. Kim, our network coordinator, chiming in, says, woohoo, the best year was 1995. I must concur. Even though I didn't graduate from Cash, I graduated from the great Benjamin Elijah Mays High School in Atlanta, Georgia, class of 1995. So Kim is representing the 9 and the 5 of Cash. If there are any others, come on in and let us know that you are tuning in and also representing your class on today. I'll give you a couple more minutes before we move this train on. So please check in. Let us know that you are tuning in. Anybody else? Kisha Middleton is chiming in, saying, I got one more year better than 1995. 1996 is in the building. Thank you so much, Kisha, and we look forward to talking with you very, very shortly. Anybody else out there watching the show want to chime in? Let us know that you're tuning in, and also feel free if you're Coatesville Area High School graduate to let us know your school year. We're going to give you about 10 more seconds, then we're going to keep this train moving. All right? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thanks to those who checked in on today, and thank you for those Cash graduates who represented on today. Sister Carrie Arvilla Hunt said, don't start the next segment without paying attention to my year. 1977. I won't say how that is significant to my life, but I will say that's a wonderful year. She's a graduate of Cash, 1977. Thank you for representing 1977, and we look forward to talking to you as well. All right, we're going to keep this show moving as we pause to give some Red Raiders respect to Coatesville varsity athletes who achieved great feats at the end of last school year and during the summer. Let's watch this video as we give proper Red Raiders respect that is due. And here we go. Seville family, can you show some love to these Red Raiders who had some wonderful feats during the end of last school year as well as during the summer. We show Red Raiders respect to Jillian Wimmer, who was the Daily Local News Player of the Year for the year of 2025 for Coatesville's softball team. We show Red Raiders respect to senior Sean Kinsler. I messed up that last name, but forgive me. He committed to UNC Asheville, one of the great pitchers for the baseball team. Shane from the baseball team committed to East Carolina University. Adam Clark committed to East Stroudsburg, and he's going to take along with them his Coatesville teammate to East Stroudsburg, and that will be Nuge Willett. We show the baseball team some Red Raiders respect. They had a great run in the 6th PIAA baseball tournament, and as they bring most of their team back, we're looking forward to some great things from the baseball team in the spring. Also, we're showing Red Raiders respect to Colton Hiller, who won a gold medal this summer playing on the USA under-16 FIBA team as they brought home the gold, went undefeated in Mexico, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of Colton Hiller highlights, and we look forward to great things as he enters his sophomore campaign on the hardwood. Also, we have a national phenomenon who's a rising sophomore playing girls soccer, Natalia Hansen. Keep that name in your memory bank. As Colton is getting international love, Natalia Hansen is as well. And she recently was an All-American for one of the leagues that she participates in. So we are looking forward to some great things from Natalia as the girls soccer team season is right around the corner. And as we prepare for the gridiron, we got to show some Red Raiders respect to Max Hiller, the big Junior 2 sports star who is ranked number 9 in the class of 2027 by ESPN. That is some major respect that ESPN is giving Max Hiller, and we look forward to seeing Big Max on the gridiron doing what he does well, blocking so that the Coatesville football team can put up some points. So we show a lot of Red Raiders respect to those young people in the Coatesville area. And Coatesville, you ought to be excited because we have some great athletes that are getting some wonderful attention across the country, even locally. And the good news is we don't even know who else is in store for us this particular sports year. So we're looking forward to some other persons joining those names that we just mentioned in the 25-26 sports school year. And let me encourage you, go ahead on, go to those respective sports pages that they have on Facebook and Instagram, the sports teams, like them so that you can get the news from them. But if you want to just stay with 610, we'll get it to you as quickly as we can, for we literally stalk their sports pages so that we can make sure everybody is in the know of what's going on sports-wise in the city of Coatesville. As we show some Red Raiders respect, we want to let you all know there's some upcoming sports activities this week. The summer is over. Now it's time for some sports in Seville. And before we get excited about football, we got to get excited about girls soccer. Girls soccer is right around the corner. And as I talked to you just a few minutes ago about Natalia Hansen, the girls soccer team will be starting their season the same day the football team starts their season. They will have a game this Friday at 3 o'clock versus Garnett Valley at Charles F. Patton Middle School. So if you can, go ahead on and support these ladies who will start their season this week. And also there's another team besides the football team that will be starting their season this week. And yes, we are a sports network, and we're going to show some love to the Coatesville field hockey team. Yes, the Coatesville field hockey team starts their season this weekend. They will play Springfield Delco Springfield Delco away. JV plays at 5:30. Varsity plays at 7. And they have a scrimmage this week against Upper Darby. So we wish the field hockey team some wonderful success this year. And now I'll get to the football team, where I know many of you all can't wait till Friday. Some of you all went to the scrimmage on this past Saturday morning, and now I know you're ready for the gridiron. For what I've been told, football is a big thing here in Seville. So we want to show you that the football season does start this coming week, and they have a home game against Garnett Valley at 7 p.m. and the Seville 610 Seville Sports Network will be present and accounted for, ready to give some highlights and some interviews at that game. So let's wish our Red Raiders, not just the football team, but also the field hockey team and the girls soccer team, some good wishes as they start their respective seasons on this week. Before we press on, let me just say, we have to say thank you as a network, as we did some promotional activity this past weekend. We want to thank in a very special way Councilwoman Arvilla Hunt for hooking us up, as we were able to have some giveaways, promotional prizes this past weekend at Coatesville's Gospel Fest, as well as Unity Day. And we were able to have a prize wheel at one of the tables, and people got some wonderful mugs, mouse pads, cool towels, and so forth and so on. So we look forward to participating in other events where we will be out sharing and passing out prizes. And as I talk about that, we'll be at the back to school night on tomorrow night at Cash with our prize wheel. We have some more mugs, mouse pads, keychains, stickers, and just came in today, we'll even have some bags. So look for our table on tomorrow. Come on over, share with us so that you can win some prizes and get you some 610 merch. Some of the best merch. Our merch is so good. Let me just tell you how good our merch is. Our merch is so good that there was a woman who saw our mug advertised on Friday night, and on Saturday she came to Unity Day not to win a mug, but she wanted to buy a mug. And I said, before you buy the mug, go ahead and spin the wheel. She didn't get the mug. She got a keychain. She said, I'm trading this keychain to pay for a mug. So that's how good our merch is. And we want to thank in a very real way Miss Delois Hunt. Miss Delois Hunt, who has been responsible for putting together most of our merch, and we truly appreciate her services to the 610 Seville Sports Network, and we'll make sure that we get her information and post her business on our page so that if anybody else wants some merch done, feel free to go see Delois Hunt. All right? All right. I believe I did all the preliminaries, and now it's time for the next order of business. As we now move into the next chapter and phase of 610 Seville Sports Network, on today is a very special day. We are unveiling our newly established 610 the Seville Sports Network Task Force. It is comprising of individuals who have a deep connection to Coatesville, are committed to the city's well-being, have achieved notable success in Coatesville and beyond. Catch that, and beyond, and are enthusiastic supporters of Coatesville area high school sports. Before I start bringing them in one-on-one, let me just share with you what the goal is for the task force, as well as what is the purpose and mission for the task force. Let me add this part. If you can read it, Go ahead and read it, but if you can't, I'll read it for you. The 610 Seville Sports Task Force is a collaborative leadership group dedicated to advancing the mission, visibility, and community impact of the Seville Sports Network. This dynamic team brings together coaches, media professionals, community leaders, and student advocates to strategize, support, and grow high quality sports coverage rather throughout the Seville area. Let me now share the purpose and vision. Purpose and vision. Elevate local athletes by expanding multi-platform media coverage, engage the community through inclusive, inspiring sports storytelling, support student athlete development through mentorship and exposure opportunities, foster partnerships with schools, sponsors, and local organizations, drive innovation in digital media, broadcasting, and fan engagement. The task force serves as a visionary think tank and action team, ensuring that the heart of Coatesville athletics is celebrated, shared, and supported at every level. Hopefully, you have an idea of what this task force is all about. And I'm grateful on today to start unveiling these fine people that were given to me in my heart, mind, soul, and spirit to join us in this work called the 610 Seville Sports Network. Let's start bringing some of them in at this time. This first person I bring to you is no stranger to anybody in Coatesville. His bio was posted on our page earlier today. He is a pastor, a church planner. He is one who does social media quite well, as he's the lead person for the Coatesville basketball team. He does work with his wife, the Bridgestone Academy, and he does much more. He's the owner of Run Seville, and I'm glad I got my gear in the mail this past week, ready to put it on once it gets a little cooler. But you all know him. He's no stranger to anybody. Seville, will you show some love to Pastor, and I'm sure he doesn't want me to call him that, but Pastor Josh Kranz. What's going on, Brother Kranz?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loudly and clearly. And
Let's
thank
go.
you for joining us tonight on the Seville Sports Mentality Show. Also, let me personally thank you for your friendship before you accepted the invitation to be a part of the Seville Sports Mentality Show. One of the things that I was told when I first moved here by some people, you got to meet Josh Kranz, and I'm glad that we have had some organic meetings and we have become brothers and also fellow co-laborers in the
Right.
gospel for Jesus Christ. So, how you feeling tonight, sir?
Feeling good, man. Had a good afternoon watching the football team get ready for a Friday night and went down to the field, watched them a little bit, watched the field hockey team and their practice this afternoon a little bit. And, I've been running alongside the basketball team all summer. And, yeah, I'm just ready for this school year to kick off. I'm
It
excited.
sounds like you're locked and loaded. Sound like you're
That's right.
locked and loaded. And somebody told me that congratulations is due because you are the chaplain for the Coatesville football team.
Something like that.
Something like
Something
that.
like that.
Well, we're going to need those prayers coming up. So you got to get it together, Pastor Josh.
Lots
All
of
right, let's
prayer.
get into this interview real quickly. Won't you, for the people, discuss your roots in Coatesville?
Man, I'm Coatesville born and raised. My mom and dad are Coatesville born and raised, and have just been a part of this community since day one. Have been around sports in this community since day one. Um, I had some clear callings from God in my life, One was to follow him, and to serve him. And I believe the second real calling in my life was to plant my roots here in the city of Coatesville, and to serve families here. And I love it, man. Haven't gone anywhere, don't plan on going anywhere. And my parents raised me um, in the arms of the Coastal basketball team, Coastal football team, and yeah, it shaped who I am today. So hoping to raise my kids the same way.
So it's literally for you, Seville for life.
Seville for life, no exceptions.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask you this: in your opinion, what makes Coatesville so special?
Man, it's a lot of things. The people, the grittiness of the people here, the pride that runs through. Um, People are proud of where they came from. People are proud of the work that they put into. People are proud of the, community they get a chance to represent. Um, so that means a lot to me. The diversity here, obviously, raising a family here and exposing them to such rich diversity. Um, People from all walks of life. I think it's incredible. So I think it's special, man. It's got, it's a little city. Everybody knows each other, so it's got like little city problems. It's got big city problems. Um, but man, it's a special place. It's a special place. It gets a bad reputation, but I love being here. I love raising my family here, and I think that's what makes it unique. It's a people that care for each other, um, and you're growing up with people that are going to be lifelong family and lifelong friends.
Oh man, that's wonderful. I appreciate you sharing, and I could sense the passion in your voice as you talked about it. Let's get into some of your notable work. Could you describe some of that notable work and how your background in Coatesville has impacted that work?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would call it notable, but uh, man, we've been running camps. My dad has a camp, the camp at Old Mill, that Coastal kids have been coming to since 1992. We've been running kids clubs since the Oak Street housing projects back in the 80s and 90s, through the 2000s. My wife is the executive director of the Bridge Academy and Community Center. She's been there for 20 years, serving faithfully, and I get a chance to volunteer alongside of her and help with the high school programs there. But they do an incredible work with young people. She's got an amazing staff there, and they've really made an impact in this city. And I just get a chance to be a part of it. Sometimes I get thanked for stuff that they do so well, um, and they deserve all the credit. And so I'm grateful for them. I run a program called Ways of Gentlemen in the schools and different community centers. Obviously, I do run Seville. I pastor. That's my first calling is pastoring Providence Church Coatesville. Shout out to all of them. And yeah, that's kind of what I've done. I think you can meet me 20 years ago, and I've been doing the same stuff today. And if you meet me 20 years from now, I'll probably be doing the same stuff I was today. So if you know me, you know me. Ain't
So,
nothing
so,
changed but my length.
I'm going to ask a question that you're probably not ready for because we have something in common besides we played basketball in college, but you are a PK.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that experience as a PK growing up in Coatesville.
Oh man, it was amazing. You know, we were, my dad was the white guy in an all black neighborhood and raised us like that. And so our, it was unique. It was super unique. So I got the best of both worlds, um, in and out of different cultures, but always raised me, um, to keep Christ first, to stay in the Word of God, to love Jesus, to represent Him well, to care, to love God, and to love your neighbor, the greatest commandments. And so they raised us to do that, and to follow that. And I have two older brothers. They're all in full-time ministry in the coastal area. We've all followed Jesus all of our lives. God's given us wonderful families, wonderful kids. It's just been a blessing. So, and that started with literally my mom and dad loving people in their living room and around their dinner table, and caring for this community. And, it bled into us as their sons.
I appreciate you sharing. Now, I dare not have you wax poetically about your father without allowing you to wax poetically about your rib, your wife. Talk a little bit about her.
Man, she's amazing. Jordan Cranes. She's
You saw
she's
that
a legend.
smile? Go
She's
ahead, keep
special.
talking.
We've been married 20 years almost. We'll be 20 years in December. Three wonderful kids. And I always prayed that God would give me a wife that would fall in love with Coatesville. And when we met, she was already in love with Coatesville. She was already had planted her roots here, was serving this community, loving on kids and families. And so God one upped me on that one. So I got a chance. That's how I met her. We met her working with kids at the bridge and out at the camp and in the community, and just fell in love. And she's amazing. Uh, Man, I think she's one of the greatest things that Coachwell has going for it, and how she leads and directs the bridge, and how she cares unconditionally for family. So she's special, man. She's special.
That's dope. That's dope. And you're going to be able to sleep well tonight because I'm sure she's smiling from ear to ear after what you just
She's
said.
probably rolling her eyes at me right now.
All right, we talked a little about your family, your work. Let's talk a little bit of little sports, and this is a sports network.
Let's
So,
do
how
it.
were you first introduced to the sports scene in Coatesville?
So me and my brothers, my oldest brother was like a ball boy, water boy for the football team, the basketball team. He used to be an old head here, named Patsy. He used to hand out candy at the games. Was kind of like a manager for the team. And I remember taking rides in the back of the bus with all the shoulder pads and helmets and footballs to a game, and being down to Scott Field. And, that's kind of how our parents raised us. So I don't think we missed. Um, Man, I grew up watching Marty Eggleston, Jody McMillan, Butch Hills, Anthony Hogarth, Victor Ford. Um, I hate to leave people out. There's so many greats that I had an opportunity to watch. And, you know, man, I had pets. I had two birds that I named Marty and Jody, because Marty Eggleston and Jody McMillan were my heroes.
Wow.
And so we just grew around, especially specifically the basketball team. My dad would take the team around to different Christian colleges and different camps and places, and play teams. And Coachville would just whoop up on them. They'd whoop up on college teams. And he would open up Scott Gym during the week, and have open gyms with them. And, my dad wasn't even a basketball guy, but he just wanted to provide an outlet for the young men here. And they play Monopoly in our basement and play pool. And that's kind of how I grew up. But I just knew I wanted to be around Coatesville sports. That was a dream of mine, to be around Coatesville basketball. And I've been following it probably since I could, I started dribbling a ball when I was probably 3, 4 years old. And Coatesville basketball was the reason for that.
That's dope. That's
Yep.
dope. Before I ask you this last question, let me just acknowledge some people who tuned in. Good evening to you, Stephen Jackson, and good evening to you, Deanna Anderson. And as I talked about Stephen Jackson, let me say thank you to his mother, who is a member of our church, also my personal secretary as a pastor. She helped us with our promotional giveaways. She was at the table, and we want to say thank you to Sister Sharon Johnson. So we greatly appreciate you, and we hope to see you tomorrow helping us out. So thank you so much. All right, and there's her husband chiming in. Good evening, 1985, representing Brother Dana Johnson. Glad to have you on tonight. Last question for you, bro. Josh, what are some of your most memorable Coatesville sports moments? I'm just going to limit you to 2 or 3 because you had already started calling the roll of names on the last question. So we know you got a lot of memorable moments. So give us 2 or 3.
All right, I'm gonna give you three.
Okay.
Number one, you can't beat 2000, 2001 Coastal basketball team. 2001, they won the state championship. Tootie, Reese. The year before that was Shaman Tools, the Brickus brothers. I mean, just that state championship year and the year before that was some of the best basketball we've ever been able to witness. Um, that was some of the greatest memories. Obviously, my sister-in-law played for the girls basketball team. I think that's 94, 95, maybe, when they won the state championship. Obviously, Kisha was on that. She'll probably talk about that being her greatest sports moment. Um, but just amazing memories. How the community rallied around that, and I can't stop without one of my young guys, my young bull, and dear friend, CJ Gray. He was and just an amazing running back for Coatesville, over 10,000 yards. He would just run over people, run through them. He was the fastest kid I ever seen on the football field. And man, when he played running back for Coatesville, that was some of the most exciting um, years I watched football. I watched him one game. I think he scored 6 touchdowns in one half versus
Wow.
Penwood. They had to pull him from the game because he had, I forget how many yards he had, but it was incredible. He ran everything back. As soon as he touched the ball, it was a touchdown. But I think he was the greatest football player to ever come out of Coatesville. I'm biased, but man, he was a great memory for me.
Man, thanks so much for sharing those memories. And I'm sure you could do a whole show by yourself just talking about Coatesville memorable moments. Let me say thank you for your time tonight. Let
Yes,
me
sir.
say thank
Appreciate
you
you, man.
for accepting the invitation to be a part of the task force. We're going to have you come back on with the entire group towards the end of the show. So we'll get some more of Josh Krantz later on. Ladies and gentlemen, can y'all show some love to Josh Krantz, aka Pastor Josh Krantz? Thank you so much, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you got introduced to one of the task force members, and he gave us some great insight about himself, his family, as well as some of his favorable, most memorable rather, sports moments. And we truly appreciate Josh for being a part of the 610 task force. As we move this thing right along, it's time to introduce the second person who's joined us in this 610 task force work. She is no stranger to Coatesville. She's been representing, doing great things in Coatesville for a long time. And I didn't want to say long time because I didn't want to get in any trouble. But she was a wonderful wife. She is a great mother to two, a great grandmother to two. She is educated. She's a woman of all trades. You can see her bio on the sports page as well. She is an entrepreneur. She runs a funeral home. She directs funerals. She is the leader of a nonprofit called Women Destined for Change. She serves our community as a councilwoman, and she's been doing that for quite a while. I'm happy to be able to call her my member, as she's a member of the First Baptist Church of Passtown, where she serves at the church. She's over our youth ministry and also our culinary ministry, and she just blessed our campers all summer long with some of the best lunches slash dinners that I'm sure they've ever eaten in their lives. And it's no hyperbole. You could ask somebody who came to the camp and they'll say amen to what the Rev just said. But nevertheless, let me not keep on introducing her and prolonging the moment. But Seville, can you show some love to your councilwoman, one of my favorite people, Councilwoman Arvilla Hunt?
Good
How you doing?
evening. Good evening. I'm good. How are you, Pastor?
I am
What's
doing.
red?
Yeah. I know it's going to be a little hard because you normally call me pastor all the time. So we're in a
Yes.
different environment. If you slip up and call me pastor, that's okay. It's all
Okay.
good.
Okay.
It's all good. But thank you so much for joining us. I know personally you have a very busy schedule, and with your line of work, duty may call at any moment. So I do not take your presence here for granted or lightly. So I say thank you on behalf of the network, and also thank you for accepting the invitation to be a part of the task force. I know your children try to push you away from accepting more things on your plate, but I want to thank you for making more room on your plate for being on this 610 task force. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Well, let's get into this interview with you. And I know some people may know your story, but there are many others who may not. So please discuss your roots here in Coatesville.
Born and raised Coatesville, 1977 graduate from the Coatesville Area Senior High School. My whole life has been here in the city of Coatesville. I'm one of 9 children, and we grew up not so much rich and having this and that, but being from a large family. Our mother died when we were very young. I was only 10 years old at the time, but it taught me to be able to look at what I want my future to be. And that's even from a young child. I knew that I did not want to continue to grow up and become an adult in the same environment that I had to live in as a child. So I worked hard to make things happen, to make life changes, and to be a viable part of the landscape here in the city of Coatesville.
Wow, that was wonderful, and I appreciate you sharing all that you have shared. So, in your opinion, what makes Coatesville unique?
Coatesville is unique in its own way. Um, if you know anything about the demographics of Coatesville and looking at Chester County, we are the only city in the county. And for years, the county has benefited from that. And one of the main things was to keep us at a poverty level because it allowed more funding to come to the county. But when the funds were distributed, Coatesville did not have anyone at the table. So since I've been on council, that landscape has changed. And we now have a voice at the table and funds are coming into the city. So what makes us unique is that we're able to battle through the hard times and still come out on top. We're diversified in that we have so many different um, ethnic groups. We have different family issues, different family values, and some the lack thereof. But when the metal hits the road, Coatesville rises together. I was so excited about this past weekend because that showed the real Coatesville
Mm.
on how we come together, how we survive together. We survive with people such as Reverend Kranz, who was just on, um, the Hunt family, the Harrises, going back to your father. And there are some major families in this community that has made it what it is. And I'm just proud to be a part of it. I believe we have small city issues with big city mentality. And
Mm.
so we want to reach, I know I do, as long as I'm a council person, I want to continue to reach for things that seem to be unreachable because I believe things are always, it's always said that it's impossible to do things until it's done.
Right, right.
So I just think we're just a small city with a big city mentality, and we work together when we need to.
You sounded a little preachy right at the end. I was about to say, are you ready for your trial sermon?
All right, we're going to pass the plate.
All right.
Thank you, Pastor.
I didn't prep you for this question, but I'm interested because we know you are from Coatesville, born and raised. You started mentioning about the work that was done this weekend, and salute and congratulations to you for chairing the Gospel Fest on Friday at Gateway Park, along with Unity Day at Gateway Park. Splendid job. Anything you put your hands on, you do a masterful job, and I want to salute you for
Thank
the
you.
work that you did this past weekend.
Thank
With
you.
that being said, what motivated you to want to get involved in the political sector of Coatesville, becoming a councilwoman?
If I am to be honest about it, it was not my desire to become a council person. I never wanted the funeral home to become an annex of City Hall. And I knew if people knew that I was on council, they would come ringing the doorbell and so forth. So, what happened? There was a group of people called Concerned Citizens of Coatesville. They came to me and they asked me would I run for council. At that time, there was a sitting person from our ward that had served several terms. So I would have to, put out a campaign. But long story short, I said no. They went out in the community with a petition, received enough signatures. They took it to Westchester, got it certified,
Wow.
and came back and told me my name was on the ballot. So
Wow.
that's how, because at that point, that was the beginning of my husband becoming ill. I didn't know what kind of time I would have, and I don't believe in half doing something.
Hmm.
But and the day of the election, that morning, I wasn't at the polls at all because I had a funeral.
Wow.
So I did not think for 1 minute that I would win. But when I did, and the tallies came back and I was elected, then my mindset changed. It went into work mode. What can I do to make things better for our city? But once I actually was sworn in and I took my seat on council, a reality came. I'm only one person with
Mm.
one vote. So I had to learn how to work with my colleagues so that we could take a little of what I thought and what I wanted to see for the city, join in with what they wanted, then we could make a difference. So the whole point, I guess, is to be able to make a difference in the city and in the mindset of the people.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. And for the short period that I've been here, you have definitely made a huge difference in the city. And as your pastor, I have to say you've made a huge impact at our church for the short period that you've been a member. So I truly appreciate
Thank you.
all that you do for the city as well as for our church. With that being said, this is a sports network, so it's time to talk some sports. All right.
Let's do it.
So when were you first introduced to the sports scene here in Coatesville?
Okay, well, it goes back to the late 70s, early 80s. My then boyfriend, Emmett Golden Hunt, was the director at the Coastville Community Center. And he developed a sport teams through the community center. He developed a basketball team for those athletes that were cut from the high school. He formed a team. Then he was a part of a consortium that formed a league. We took the kids to Slayton Farms, Glen Mills, Downingtown Industrial School, the Boys Club, and he would outfit those kids from head to toe, warm ups, full uniforms, the warm ups with the double tackle twill print. You know about that.
Yeah.
We would go to Philly and get these things for these children. And so that's how I was first introduced to the sport scene through him. And then as time went on, we got married, we had children, and our daughter, she wanted to be a cheerleader. So she started cheering for Coatesville Midget League. So of course now we're following the football team, and he was a co-sponsor of the midget league team, the league actually. So we started following her, and she went from midget league to middle school to high school as a cheerleader. And then she went to college and she cheered for Morgan State University as well as Dell State. And then we had a son, and he was a three-letter athlete: football, baseball, and basketball, which he excelled in. And Dee came back home to Coatesville after college, and she became the cheerleading coach. So we had the best of both worlds, going to the games, watching Emmett play, and watching Dee coach. Those were some great days. And so I'm a little biased on what Josh said a little bit ago. My favorite athlete and football player is none other than the 2012, 2013 quarterback that took us to the state finals for the first time in the history of the school, none other than Emmett Golden Hunt Jr. So
Emmett Golden Hunt Jr.
Emmett Golden Hunt Jr. So
Eh,
now, and I became a sports mom.
yeah.
You know, we did all the things. We made sure the kids ate. We made sure they took lunches on the bus. And one of the great things that happened the morning that the team was leaving to go to Hershey for the state final game, all the parents were out at the high school to see the bus off. And they asked me to come on the bus and pray for the team.
Wow.
And that was, it was just awesome to be able to do that. So that's how I got introduced to sports.
So you already combined the most memorable moments. You talked about D, you talked about Emmett,
Yeah.
so forth and so on. And that's wonderful that you've had that experience, and your son is a Coatesville Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is. Yes,
Coatesville,
he is.
I was
Yes, he
pleased to be
is.
able to be
And
in his.
this year in October, they are um, putting the whole team.
Mhm.
That whole team will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
All
So
right. Now, now,
we're excited about that.
Now, I can't let you get off. I'm not going to ask you specifically what's your favorite memorable moments because you already mentioned one. All right.
Yes.
So we know that's the top one by far. But in talking with you on many occasions, you have another connection to Coatesville history in the person of your cousin who was the first African American cheerleader at Coatesville Area High School. Tell the people about that.
Yes, Diana Robinson Lewis. She was the first African American cheerleader. At that time, Scott was the high school. And being a cheerleader in Coatesville, if you were black and made the team, you did something. We just did not have black cheerleaders. And we even, so she did that. And then, of course, she went on to be a newscaster for 6 ABC, where she retired. And she now has a wall in the Smithsonian Institute down in Washington, D.C.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
she's really proud of those achievements that she has made. And we've come a long way with Coatesville sports and cheerleading. But when you are on the inside of it, you see some of the not so nice things. Go back to when Dee was in 11th grade, and the coach had a daughter that was on a team, and she made the girls try out to be the captain of the team. So there were criteria they had to meet. So Dee came home and she said, Mommy, I didn't make captain. And I said, Well, what was your score? She said, They didn't show me the scores. And I said, Okay. So I questioned to see if I could see the scores. And to make a long story short, I did get a chance to see the scores because I went to the principal, the superintendent, and they did not score her on half of the things that were on the list. They didn't even give her a score for looking nice. So, um, so it ended up we had to fight and we got that coach removed because these children need to be able to be treated fairly and have a fair opportunity. Um, even and Josh, you probably could know too. Our children didn't get the looks that some of these athletes get in other schools because our athletic director was not reporting our children to Max Prep.
Mm.
So we couldn't get any state recognition. So I believe, and I could be biased, but I believe the 2012 2013 football team changed the landscape of the students now that are getting looks because now we do report to Max Prep and all of the other outlets that can give our children a look and a full opportunity, a full chance to go higher in the sport world.
And the good news is now we have 610, the Seville Sports
And now we
Network,
have 610 Seville. Yes, yes, yes.
to make that even better. So
Yes,
yes, yes,
absolutely.
yes, yes. So thank you. We're gonna pause right here. We're gonna bring you back. We do have
Okay.
one more person, but thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time and thank you so much for your thoughts and sharing your memorable moments. And we look forward for you being on the bigger panel as we talk specifically about the task force. Can y'all show
Thank you so
Councilwoman
much.
Carrie Arvilla Hunt some love? Seville, thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. And Brother Hank, what's up, Brother Hank? He's watching the show. Appreciate you watching. And thank y'all so much for watching so far. And if you don't mind, continue to share this broadcast. Your shares expands our network. Your likes, your subscriptions expand our network. And when we start doing our interviews and when we start doing our clips, the more people we have following us and subscribing to our channels, the more exposure our young people will get. So please, ma'am, please, sir, like and share this broadcast. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. And also we have a TikTok page that we'll be sharing more about because we're going to put a lot of our clips on TikTok as well. With that being said, we're going to introduce the third person who's a part of our task force. She is no stranger to Coatesville. She is a state champion, part of that girls basketball state championship team back in the 90s. She's played college basketball. She's coached basketball. She's done a lot of phenomenal things for many young people. She currently serves as the assistant athletic director at Lincoln University, and she's literally done so many jobs in Lincoln, I don't have time to tell you all of the jobs. Also, she has ties to the church that I pastor, the First Baptist Church of Passtown. She was Passtown proud before that was even a thing. So we are grateful to bring to you all your state champion, my friend, Kisha Middleton. What's going on, Kisha?
I'm good. How are
I'm,
you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. And thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Also, let me personally thank you for accepting the invitation to be a part of the task force. I don't take it for granted, even though we've been knowing each other since we were younger. I don't take your kindness to be a part of the task force for granted. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
No problem.
All right, let's get into this interview. You've been on the show before. You've been on the show as an individual as well as part of the state championship team that we were able to interview last school year. But for those who don't know you, and that's going to be very few, tell us about some of your Coatesville roots, and don't forget about Hayti.
Oh, I sure won't. Well, yeah, I can say grew up in Hayti, one of the best places ever. Last name is Middleton, and everybody knows a whole bunch of us. But my roots are deep in Coatesville. My dad is from here. I grew up here. I just love everything about Coatesville. So, and shout out to all the Middletons, a whole bunch of y'all. I love y'all.
All right, and shout out to Miss Wanda. I know she's watching. So shout out to her, and we're praying for her. And one of your classmates, I don't know their name, but they're giving a shout out. They said they're class of 96 representing.
Sure is. Yep.
All right. So in your opinion, now we know you're no longer in Coatesville, but you still visit from time to time. You got family here. Coatesville is always going to be home to you. What makes Coatesville special in your eyes?
Oh man, I love Coastville through and through, like what Josh says. I mean, like I bleed red and black still. I won't even wear yellow and blue together, like it's unheard of. Not gonna happen. Um, but Coatesville, I mean, everybody's a family. Even through all these years, whatever. I feel like if I call somebody there, like it'd be a response. It's love. I just had a situation this week. Somebody I haven't talked to in a while. They knew I had a personal situation, and they just kind of stepped in and took care of it and told me to lay down and go to sleep. I wasn't feeling my best, and I haven't talked to them in a couple years. So it's like the love is always there, and it never leaves. So that's one thing that is beautiful about Coatesville.
We appreciate you sharing that. And I didn't know you were bleeding Red and black. Next time I see you, I'm going to find something to cut you and see if that red and black blood comes out.
Oh, it's coming.
And for some people, there are some people who are not from Coatesville. You mentioned some other colors. Will you tell them what that's all about?
Oh, the Coastville Downtown rivalry. Yeah, there is no way. I don't even think I have blue and yellow in my wardrobe that I would even put together. That's how deep the love is for Coatesville. Yeah.
All right, now you know this. It's a little sophisticated now. So what downtown are you specifically talking about?
Oh well, since they upgraded both of them.
No discrimination, I
Yeah.
see. All right. So you're doing some wonderful work. You've been working with young people for quite some time, especially at the collegiate level now at Lincoln University. So now, could you describe some of your notable work and how your background in Coatesville has impacted that work?
Um, I think my background in Coastville, I mean, it's generally a place where you learn how to grow up and just love on each other, be there for each other. I know there's people that call my mom and dad or whatever. Like I respect that. I love it. They call him Pops, old timer. And it's guys that may have not had somebody come to their games. My dad would go to their games, whatever. So just learning how to love on people, like to me, blood is, it's not it's the people that care about you. It's not necessarily the people that are related to you. So just Coastville as a whole. But I think getting that and just wanting to take care of people in the way that other people loved on me, that's not family. I think that's transferred into what I do. I just love changing lives, being a part of other people's lives, and some people that may not have family. And I often tell our students that family are the people that come in your life and look after you and be there for you. So that's what I've taken from Coastville to give to those students.
And I've been able to see some of your work up close and personal. You afforded me the opportunity to speak for one of the awards banquets since I've been here in Coatesville, and I thank you for that wonderful opportunity and just to see how the students love on you, because for you it's more than a job, it's a ministry. You really love serving the young people at Lincoln University, and the love that they show you because you show them is very genuine, and I applaud you for the wonderful work that you're doing at Lincoln University.
I
With
appreciate
that
it.
being said, it's time to talk a little Coatesville sports.
Yeah.
So we know before you were a state champion, obviously you had an introduction to the Coatesville sports scene. Can you tell us about that introduction?
I've said this before. I was trash when I first started, so I had to, grow up and get to where I was at. But my dad would always take me to basketball games. He would take me to the park. My dad played softball, so I was around all kind of sports. So just being around it, like we mentioned, Marty Eggleston. I mentioned the one summer league group, Lynch Mob. Being around some of those guys, they kind of just took you in or whatever. And one place that I would say, quote unquote, baptized that in basketball was in Rock Run, and I thought I was good. I thought I could shoot a 3 pointer. And his name was Joe Martinez. Rest in peace to him because he threw my shot so far down the other end of the court. He is the reason why that I always say that I got a scholarship to a Division 1 team because of him. But just being able to play at those places or whatever, learn from those guys, those were definitely some memorable moments, and it made you tough.
Is there a particular female basketball player that piqued your interest growing up as you were coming up in Coatesville?
I would say Lynn Ross, because she was a little bit older, and Lynn could just flat out score. And outside of basketball, Lynn is a real nice person or whatever. So just watching her play, watching her style of play, was always fun to watch.
And tell us a little bit more about the impact that your coach, your high school coach, had on you. It was obvious when we interviewed you and your teammates, along with your coach and assistant coach, that y'all had major love for her. And now that you all are older, y'all have even more respect for her. So just tell us a little bit about her.
We always mess with. I mean, like back then, you could throw a clipboard or two. So we probably ducked a few times, but she generally cared about us. She wanted the best for us. And then we might not have really known what it was though, but her care and concern for her, for us, and Carol, it was unmatched though, because when I went to college, I was prepared for that level because they treated us like that. You know, we had male practice players, and they were hard on us though, but that was something that we definitely needed. And then, you know, growing up and actually coaching my own self, I'm like, whoo, now I see what we put her through. So so definitely appreciate that. And she, you know, and she knew basketball in and out. Like her X's and O's was unmatched. So having that knowledge early on, I think helped me prepare to be a good coach as well. So definitely love her and Carol, and wouldn't trade them two for nothing.
And isn't it amazing now that you're still heavily involved in the sports realm as I try to be? What our coaches today can't do
Oh,
that our
cannot.
coaches back in the day did do. I mean, I know personally two or three of my coaches would probably be in jail now because of some stuff.
Yeah, it's different.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, stick around. We're going to start including everybody who's a part of the task force. And we've had some wonderful conversations. And I'm not going to take you out. I'm just bring everybody else in. Josh, come on in. Miss Hunt, Councilwoman Hunt, y'all come on in. We truly appreciate all that you all have offered on today. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the task force, um, um, why you chose to be a part of it, what you're hoping that comes from it. Early in the show, I explained what the task force purpose and mission are. And at this time, I'm going to start with you, Josh. Uh, why did you accept the invitation to be a part of the 610 task force?
Um, for one, it's just to give our young people more exposure, to put on display the great athletes that we have, and the great kids that we have. I mean, we just have some great kids in this community that need to be showcased and need to have an opportunity. And not just in Coatesville, but anywhere you go, the popular sports are going to get the most shine. And so I think this network, we're going to put the popular sports on display, but we're going to show the ones that it's hard to get people out to, and it's outside of parents, and athletes that are really good that not many people know about. And so that's what excites me to be a part of, just giving kids more exposure, highlighting what's going on here, and just showcasing the gifts that this community has to offer.
I'm gonna go to throw this one to Keisha because I know a lot of people, when the network was started, they thought this was just going to be a basketball network because when we started, basketball was in the prime of their season. They were having a great season. Colton Hiller was being mentioned, and some of the other players were being mentioned as well. So I'm sure some people were looking at the network with a skeptical eye. What did that do when you saw us covering spring sports? What did that do for you as a Coatesvillian to see what this network was seeking to do?
For me, I like it because, like what we talked about on the collegiate level, whatever, the holistic approach. And I think all sports should be treated equal. Even though we look at football, basketball as more predominant sports, whatever, but we have great athletes all the way around. So I think reaching out to all the teams, all the sports, it's a good look, and everybody's deserving of it. So I love the look of it. So that was something that definitely interested me.
I appreciate you sharing. So, Councilwoman Hunt, you have a lot on your plate. I know you have a lot on your plate. What was it about the network that allowed you to put this 610 piece on your plate?
Um, to be honest about it, I was intrigued by listening to you, listening to your vision, and being able to see how I could fit in. And I echo my colleagues, Kisha and Pastor Josh, is that there's so much exposure that's needed for our children, even in the sports that aren't top level. We can get football, we can get basketball and baseball, but when it comes to the soccer and the field hockey, and your vision to be able to reach all of the sports, all of the athletes, all of the athletes, that was really um, an advertising point for me to be able to be a part of that and to be able to follow the vision, to see the vision and want to be able to be a part of it and make it move forward.
I appreciate you all sharing
Thank
what
you.
caused you all to be a part of it. I must admit, uh, during the spring sports, when it especially came to lacrosse, I felt like a fish out of water. And here's a little joke. So at one of the games, I was filming, and this particular team didn't have any black players. So it was funny. One of the fans said, and looked at me, and they were trying to be serious, but it was comical. She said, "Now, who's your child out there?" And so I started laughing, and that was a good way for me to introduce her to 610. And actually, that night we got quite a few lacrosse followers, girls lacrosse followers, who didn't even know about the network, but just because of the presence of the network, some of them have followed us, and we had some great interviews during the course of the lacrosse season. So let me ask you all this question, and let me find it real quickly. There we go. So I'm gonna start with you, Councilwoman Hunt. What specific outcomes do you aim to achieve as a task force member to benefit Coatesville athletes and the broader community?
What I aim to see is the much needed exposure. I aim to see this network moving higher, being able to obtain and focus on these athletes that need to be showcased, and that we just take this to the highest level that we can take it to give our students the exposure that they need.
Same question for you, Keisha.
Oh, there we go. Pretty much the same thing. But the other thing, like on my end, hopefully that I could be a different type of vessel by me working in collegiate athletics, and also just not being able to get them out there, get their videos and stuff like that. But at some point, if I could be assistance of education of people getting to the next level, because sometimes that is a hindrance for people getting scholarships or going to a different level or something like that. So hopefully behind the scenes, that is something that eventually can come out of it is education for our student athletes and their parents.
I appreciate you sharing it, and it's a blessing even before the network that your university has already started a pipeline to a certain degree with Coatesville athletes. There are a few Coatesville athletes who are already playing at Lincoln, and we hope through the exposure the network has, maybe some more athletes will go to Lincoln as well as other universities. So we greatly appreciate that, and we got to work on that Lincoln 610 day to make that thing work. All
We'll
right.
make it happen.
Same question for you, Josh.
I just say what everybody else already said. Exposure for the kids, opportunities, but I guess one that maybe not has been mentioned yet would just be to have the community rally around the students. So the more you expose them, um, the more names come up, the more their faces are there, the more success that you're seeing in a sport that you might not ever pay attention to. I hope it'll, just bring a lot of community sport, a lot of community rallying around the kids, and just being an encouragement to them, knowing that they're supported, um, no matter what they're doing. So,
I appreciate you all sharing that, and I know you all are going to do a wonderful job in fulfilling the aim that you have for your participation with the task force. One of the major reasons why I started the network was not only to put Coatesville sports in the forefront, get exposure to all sports, but many of you all know my affinity for, I know him as Deacon Scoogie Smith. And when we started the show, we had a segment um, about his Skoogieisms. And as we start this next phase of the show, I want to do this segment called Remembering Scoogie. All of you all have had interactions with the late, great James Scoogie Smith. So I'm going to start with you, Josh, real quickly. just talk about your memories of school.
Man, my first memory of Skug when I was a little kid, man, I went to a basketball camp he was running, and I had to hit five straight foul shots, and I was so nervous. I'm like one of the only white kids at the camp, and I was just missing. I get to four and miss, and he was just yelling in the way Skug would do it, and he had me so nervous and so scared. But I felt so loved and so supported. That was probably when I was 8, 9 years old. So since then, I've just loved him. He always supported what I was doing. He was always an encouragement. I would always make sure he had the nice, fresh, new Run Seville gear. Um, and I just loved his heart for the Coastal basketball guys and students that he taught. And he was amazing. He would give me, the last 10 years, he gave me so much of his memorabilia. It was really special to me um, to have some of that and to be able to have it in my home and pass it down.
All right.
And my
Uh,
daughter's calling me.
okay. All right. We're messing up daddy duty. Okay. We apologize. Uh, Kisha, go ahead on and give us your memories of Bruh School.
He's pretty much, I can say, with from going to Passtown and being a part and a member of the church, whatever. Spend a lot of early years with him, just being a great person, being a mentor. And with basketball, he was hard on me, but he wasn't, even though he was never my coach. And then once I got into coaching, he just encouraged me really well because earlier I started coaching at 24 years old, and it was still, it's still like I don't want to call it good old boys club, but it's a male dominated field still. And sometimes I was one of the only young ladies or whatever, but he encouraged me to keep pushing, and so I appreciate his support. Even after I stopped coaching, when you would bring him to games, so he's just always been a part of my life, and definitely love him.
We appreciate you sharing. Councilwoman Hunt, I'm going to kind of shift it a little bit for you. You and your daughter did a phenomenal memorial for him at our church. And this is a memorial, you can't see it too clearly, but you can see it's in our fellowship hall near the restrooms, and they painted it red and black. They put together a nice frame with all of his clippings that we had access to. You see, there's a basketball, some of his awards, and those who don't know, as a churchman, he was a tambourine player. And we have two of his tambourines in the windowsill. And if you ever come by the First Baptist Church of Passtown, you got to come see this wonderful memorial that was set up by Sister Hunt as well as her daughter Dolores. Sister Hunt, tell us the thought process that you and your daughter Dee had in putting this together.
Well, Pastor, I guess the thought process would have been just trying to display Scoogie in the whole, and looking at all the different phases of his life, putting it all together to make the whole person. And so you afforded us the opportunity to take his memorabilia and put it together and have a memorial wall. And I just think being able to display him to the church and to members that come in. And I guess that was the main mindset behind it, to make sure that his legacy and his memory will always live, even though he has gone on. Thank
Thank you
you.
for thank you for those words, and thank you and your daughter for your wonderful artistic gifts, because it definitely is an added blessing to our church and a great way for us to pay homage to the one and only boys state championship coach ever in Coatesville history. And at Passtown, we have the blessing to say he was ours as a church member. So we are really grateful for that. Now, I'm going to ask a question that I didn't ask y'all. We're talking about expanding the network. We're talking about covering sports that are normally not sports. And we all know that means it takes more money, right? So at some point soon, you all are going to help us raise money for the network. And just off the top of your head, as we make somewhat of an appeal, why should someone support the network, especially when it comes to tangible gifts? Anybody want to go first?
I'll go.
All right.
Man, I think this community really supports their own, and it's like another opportunity to support your own. It's another opportunity to put kids on display, to be an encouragement to them, uh, to showcase what we have going on here. So I think it's a wonderful thing to support, to rally around, to encourage. I think the funds, you know, would be well spent on our youth here and across the board. And so, yeah, I'm hoping to really see that excel this year, and people get excited about what's happening here at our schools. And yeah, so I hope we get the support we need.
I appreciate you sharing that, Josh. Anybody else?
I think Josh pretty much summed it up. Um, to be able to support something that's going to support our children, because Coatesville is a city that will come out for their children and for their sports. So to have a network to call our own, the 610 Seville Network Sports Mentality, and to be able to call it our own. And one thing we do and one thing we should do is support our own. So I encourage anyone that's listening or anyone that now know I'm a part of this. If you want to donate, I'm sure Pastor is going to let us know how we can do it. But consider putting some of your support into tangible funds that we can move the network on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Councilwoman.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's definitely a good way to assist. Just from being a former athlete, I think about different people that did stuff for me, maybe took me to games and did stuff like that. This is just the new wave of helping the students out now, donating money so they can get seen and go to the next level, and also increase the program so we can have good video, good coverage, and a lot of good things.
Mhm.
So you find the time, find the money, find things to donate. Please do so.
I appreciate you all, and pretty soon we'll have a letter for you all to share with your networks, and we'll share it with the network at large, and also the QR codes where people can give. One of the things that I chuckle about, but it was real true. This was one of Mr. Grubb's favorite lines when we first started. We are a network operating on a zero budget, and that was so true. On last year, we literally were operating with $0. Everything that was done was very basic voluntary work, and we are grateful that we were able to start that way, and we had dedicated people like Mr. Grubb, like Kim or Mercy Reinert, who does some phenomenal work for us. We're beginning to expand a little bit so that we can have more boots on the ground, so that as we cover sports, we won't have one person taxed too much because everybody's working on right now a volunteer basis, but we want to make sure that we're able to do what we can to give the exposure that we can to all sports. So I want to thank you all again for your time tonight. Minister Renee Carey, thanks for watching tonight, and thank you, Kim, for all your hard work and also sharing that the task force did a great job. But thank y'all so much for your time on tonight. We look forward to your continued participation, not only with the network, but with this show. At the beginning, each of you all will help me as my co-host do the shows that we have upcoming, and we'll see how that works out, see how y'all enjoy it, and see how long y'all want to do it with me. But nevertheless, on behalf of the network, that's a staff of 2 right now, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I truly appreciate you all accepting the invitation. I admire you all. I appreciate the gifts that you all have, the reach that you all have, and I appreciate you all joining forces to help this network go to higher heights. Seville, if you don't mind, give some love and show some love to Pastor Josh Kranz, Councilwoman Arvilla Hunt, and Assistant Athletic Director of Lincoln University, Kisha Middleton. Thank y'all so much. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you and look forward to future work with you all. All right?
All right. Good night.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
everybody.
Thank y'all so
Good
much. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that piece today, and we truly appreciate you. My other staff person, Kim, my network coordinator, says thank you. Good luck to all the teams this week, no doubt, no doubt. And as we conclude this wonderful show, we are all about sports with the touch of Christ. And let me just share this passage of scripture that I pray will be a blessing that will personify what was shown on this show on tonight. Scripture says in Psalm 133, verse 1, according to the New International Version, how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. And that's really what all this network is seeking to be about, unifying the sports world in Coatesville High School, letting people know that together we can do more. We're seeking to bring all the sports to one place so that the Coatesville community together can see the gifts that we have in the Coatesville community. This city has been blessed to have now international superstars as well as county and local superstars. So it is our vision to unify together with people who have the Coatesville mentality, who has the heart for the city, the love for the city, so that the city can go to higher heights. And one of the ways many cities go to higher heights is through the vehicle called sports. And we hope here at 610 that the coverage that we give can unify this city even more, to give this city more to celebrate and to be excited about. So I'm petitioning the city of Coatesville. Join 610 in this work. Follow us, share, support, and through supporting us, also we hope that you support all of the sports teams and watch what unity will do in this city. And when we are unified, eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard what the city of Coatesville shall be. Well, my brothers and sisters, I hope that you enjoyed tonight's episode of the Seville Sports Mentality Show. We want to say thank you. Special thanks to our task force, Pastor Josh Kranz, Councilwoman Carrie Arvilla Hunt, and Lincoln University Assistant Athletic Director Kisha Middleton. Also, thank you to our network coordinator, Miss Kim. We greatly appreciate all that she does. And again, thank you to Miss Sharon Johnson for sharing with us in our promotional activities. And be on the lookout for the 610 table on tomorrow at Back to School Night. With that being said, thank y'all so much. We'll be back next Monday, same time, same Facebook page, and same YouTube channel. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.